Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So today we're back again with some Wasp footage. This time now it's not a rank 3 Wasp, it's a rank 2 Wasp of my own, but I wanted to record this video for quite a while before because I wanted to check out how Wasp will do with Havoc and with Mr. Fantastic Synergy's Act 2. And that basically lets her increase her damage output by quite a bit because the more debuffs on opponent, the more crit rating she gets, so on and so forth. And obviously we still have that power sting synergy as well, and we have Havoc that gives us 50% fury. And all in all, we can see that we are laying some serious punishment in this Captain Marvel here. Definitely, so 10 hits in, already 20% of her life has gone down, and we're just basically spamming our heavy attacks. We're gonna focus mainly on using our heavy attacks here, and as you can see that each heavy attack is dealing like 25k or something like that. Plus we did drop that level 2 there. That level 2 execution wasn't perfect because I didn't have the fury active, but hey, it still did a chunk of damage, and obviously we get extra damage from that power sting as well. So all in all, we are definitely having a quite good time here with our Wasp. There's like 26k heavy attack, now again 19k crit on heavy, perfect. We have power sting coming to help us, and we're gonna drop our level 1, and that dealt another ton of damage, and 44 hits, and the fight is over. So Realm of Legends fight down with a rank 2 Wasp in 44 hits realistically. And I also have like a lane clear. Now here for the first fight I'm going to use Mr. Fantastic just to kind of like get those debuffs and get more of those counters active on him. And then for one more fight I believe I'm going to use Havoc, because Wasp and plus Suicides over time you just basically lose quite a bit of health because of Suicides. So since she isn't an immune and I'm not running any Fury plus Gold Pulse Energy, that definitely took it all on the health pool. But other than that, we're going to see some really good numbers. Now, for the most of the fights, I'm not even going to activate Mr. Fantastic abilities. We're only going to do that for the last couple of fights. But yeah, before we get there, we need to finish off this fight with Mr. Fantastic, and we're basically just going to be spamming our level attacks, level 2s, and getting more debuffs on Kamala Khan, and yeah, that will basically make this fight kind of fly by relatively quick as well. Mr. Fantastic isn't the best kind of damage dealing champion, but he's really not a slouch either, especially when you put Suicide Masteries on. He's not the Suicide friendliest champion, but he does well enough. And yeah, now again we're dropping level 2. Obviously we do get those power stings as well because Mr. Fantastic himself is a science champion. And a quick boot to the face to the poor Kamala, and we can move on. So it was 36 hits. But obviously now we want to see how well a Wasp is going to do in the remainder of the fights and how many hits it's going to take for her to finish off these opponents in 6.2. Yes, this is 6.2 life cycle. So next opponent we have is Miss Marvel, and I was just checking if we're still recording, and we're gonna jump straight in the fight. But don't you worry guys, the fight isn't gonna last very long, even without all of those extra debuffs, thanks to the power sting and thanks to everything else that we have going on for our Wasp, like Havoc Synergy. We are able to close out these fights incredibly quick. These heavy attacks do great amount of damage, and as you can see here, 10 hits in the fight, she's 11 hits in, she's halfway down already. We have one power sting active only, but even one charge of power sting deals like 3800, which is not a small amount. And now because of Yellow Jacket's energy, we also were able to place Concussion, which is another debuff which increases our damage. She tries to launch special attack and just drops dead. So it worked out pretty much perfect. 20 hit fight in Act 6 for good old Wasp. So I am definitely liking Wasp damage output potential, especially when you pair it up with Mr. Fantastic. Now I'm going to speed up the rest of the fights till the final 2, where we can see kind of like a bigger damage increase, because I don't want to keep you guys for too long, but at the same time we can definitely still enjoy some really good yellow numbers from Wasp basic heavy attacks. And the fights are pretty much over by the time we get to our level 2, and I also kind of avoided throwing it, mainly because I do not want to suffer recoil. So now we're going to be going up against this Captain Marvel. Now Captain Marvel is slightly a bit trickier to fight off against, but still nothing kind of like too crazy. And yeah, so we start off with a full combo. We want to get her cornered, and as soon as we do, we basically have our fight set up. We just want to bait out those level 1s and then combo into our heavy attacks all the time. And yeah, the opponents definitely do drop down relatively quickly without much of a kind of like hassle or problems, I'd say. So she tried to launch her special attack, and Power Sting took her down once again. So if there's one thing you can take away from today's video, is that Power Sting is extremely efficient method of dealing with life cycle nodes. So for this fight, we're just using Havoc in order to preserve some health on Wasp for that final 2 fights. Unfortunately, it will not exactly work out as planned. I'm going to mess up a bit in Dormammu fight, and means I'm going to have to use some health potions for Symbiote Supreme. But that Symbiote Supreme fight is going to be awesome. And yeah, so here with Havoc, I have gotten my 5 prowess charges. I'm starting to build up my plasmas on Ronan, and here I just dropped a heavy attack level 3 and the fight is over. So Havoc's level 3 is a beast as always. And now we are going to be moving on to the Dormammu fight. Now Dormammu fight is quite a bit more trickier than most here, therefore we will activate 2 of the pre-fight abilities. That will leave us with 3 charges left for like the final fight, for the boss fight. And each of these extra debuffs that we are able to place on opponents is giving us extra damage as well, so that definitely helps us to close out these fights quite a bit quicker. Plus obviously these debuffs have effects of their own, which is useful. And basically, yeah, so here we can see that those heavy attacks are immediately dealing much more damage, and the Dormammu is going down incredibly quick. Now I'm gonna have some problems because he's not gonna be the most willing to throw his special attacks, and I'm gonna end up pushing him to level 2, and then I'm not gonna end up finishing the fight in time, and that means I'm gonna take a level 2 in block, unfortunately. So that's not gonna work out too well. Here I did drop my own level 2 in his block, and yeah, it basically did not work out well. We are left with like 7% health. Luckily we are about to be able to close out this fight with a heavy attack, but we did not have too much health left on us, so I will have to drop in some health potions. So it was still a slight mishap, definitely a user error, not the fault of the champion. But now we're gonna have the boss fight, and the boss fight was awesome. I absolutely loved it. So before that, let's heal up. And as soon as we are done here, we can jump straight in the final fight. Before that, though, we do have to activate Mr. Fantastic's abilities. That's kind of one of the things that annoys me with pre-fight abilities. Either A, I quite often forget to activate them, or B, it's just the fact that it kind of takes a bit of time. So when you're going in an average quest, you typically don't want to do that before every fight. But now that it's all set, done and ready, let's see how quickly we can take down this final boss of 621. So we did drop a heavy attack already, and we have him in corner, which is perfect, and we are refreshing all of those debuffs. We got that extra fury from Havoc before as well. That was helpful for the first heavy attacks. And basically, yes, so we can see that he's dropping down really quick. He hasn't even reached the bar of power yet, and the fight is over. I believe it's 21 hits. You can probably get it down a bit quicker as well, but 21 hit boss fight in Act 6. It's not bad at all in my book, if you ask me. I'm definitely enjoying playing Wasp whenever I get the chance, and I think she is extremely underrated champion in general, and hopefully videos like these will help to accent that a bit. But yeah, 45 hit kill in Realm of Legends. Then we have 21 hit boss fight in Act 6 Chapter 2. So I do think those are definitely some extremely impressive numbers, speaking well for the little Wasp here. I personally do always enjoy playing her. I think she's incredibly underrated and fun champion, and not only a synergy piece that goes by any means. She has proved herself to be more useful than most in several different hard matchups, like Mordo in 625 against many different difficult Ebony Maws, or just kind of like a great way to bypass debuff immunity for her as well. But yeah, that will, I believe, be pretty much it for today's videos. Now, we do have a quite busy day planned ahead of us. I do have quite a bit of Stealth Suit Spider-Man, Domino, and Dr. Doom footage, I believe, to edit and voice over. Today I'm back at work though, so I don't know how much of that I will manage to get done. But either way, if any of that is something that you guys are interested in, something that you guys want to see, then definitely stay tuned, hit that notification bell so you don't miss an upload. Additionally, do not forget to like this video, share it with your friends, share it with your alliance mates, tell them to subscribe to see some more interesting stuff on the channel. And basically, yeah, that will pretty much do for today. I hope you once again enjoyed today's video, and if you did, show it. Don't be lazy, hit all the buttons, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon. See ya.